Hey, it's Karri Flatla here for this week's Friday Fire at Karri Flatla and Associates. The market is sizzling hot in Lethbridge right now, but I've been watching some interesting trends and doing some geeky reading about the economy in Canada and what's really simmering beneath the surface of all of this real estate fever. So I couldn't help but notice I was watching the real estate hot sheets this week. So today's Friday, and we tend to check the hot sheets like every day or so to see new listings that are coming on the market, what's selling, for how much, that kind of thing. And I started to get this sense that there were more listings coming on the market than maybe what's been the case over the last 6 to 8 to 10 months. So numbers don't lie, and you know that I love numbers, but here's what I found. It's going to be backwards because we're on a screen, but this is a chart that I'm about to show you which outlines the active listings month by month, okay, going back 12 months. It is March 2021. And look at this. Okay, now again, it's backwards, but this is mid-March here. This is going all the way back to when the pandemic started here in 2020, okay? So that's April 2020, sorry. So right after the pandemic started. So we thought the world was coming to an end a year ago, and it didn't, okay? Some bad things have happened for sure, but in the economy, real estate has been a different story than, say, hospitality and tourism, which has just been decimated by COVID. But much of the rest of the economy has not been. Okay, so you really need to understand this. Listing inventory in the city of Lethbridge down, down, down. Had a really strong market because supply of houses have been going down. But look at this. So December, we hit a low point for inventory. Very unusual. Usually December is when we have too much inventory. January, February, active listings as of mid-March. It's actually going up a little bit. What does that mean? Well, I have connections and relationships with realtors all across the country, and while I would never gauge what's happening in Lethbridge based on what's happening in a completely different market, I am hearing rumblings about the Toronto and GTA market, which has been absolutely on fire. So has Vancouver and the coast. And some realtors out in the Toronto area are saying that they're sensing a very slight cooling off. You know, so instead of getting 30 or 40 offers and 100 showings, you're getting 10 offers and 40 showings, you know, something like that, right? I mean, it's still crazy, but they're noticing that buyers are starting to kind of give themselves a reality check. Like, do I want to be a part of this feeding frenzy and pay $200,000 over asking, or, you know, whatever is the case in some of those markets right now? But this is interesting. This is really interesting. And then, so at the same time I noticed this, I read this article in the National Post, big pile of money there, and it says, inflation is coming, signs that everything is about to get much more expensive. So what's driving all of this? You know, in real estate, we just say, oh, interest rates are low, and that's just making the real estate market heat up. That is a huge factor, but there's actually more to it than that. And you need to kind of understand that if you want to play in the real estate market right now. So what's happened with COVID over the past year, as I said, it's affected the Canadian economy very unevenly. So if you are in hospitality, tourism, if you're a student who's working part-time, trying to go to school, maybe if you're struggling financially to begin with, those people actually have been hit the hardest. But much of the rest of Canadian society kept on going to work and getting paid. Restaurant owners hit really hard. People who worked in restaurants hit really hard, right? while all of this is going on, much of the Canadian economy simply adapted and the workforce adapted, and they just worked from home and they still collected the same paychecks. So you have this very uneven impact across Canadian society. But what the effect has been, and they talk about this in this National Post article, Tristan Hopper was the author, just to give credit. They say Canadians are now sitting on an excess of $90 billion in cash because they've had nothing to spend their money on. And why have they had nothing to spend their money on? Because you can't travel, or you're advised not to travel. There have been many weeks and months where you either couldn't go to a restaurant and eat out, or you were advised not to, or you can't go out with your friends, you can only go with household members, all these kinds of things. So people are just staying home and sitting on their money. So would that not have an effect on real estate? Because now you've got all this cash, you can put that as a down payment toward a house that you thought you'd have to wait another 3 or 4 years to save up for. So you see how this is all working. There's less places to spend money, and so people are sitting on their money, saving more money. At the same time, interest rates are super, super low. That may not last forever, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say too is that inventory may not keep going down, right? House prices have started to go up a little bit in the background of all of this, even in Lethbridge. But the point is this fever pitch of real estate, I don't think it's sustainable, and I think everybody just needs to calm down. It's an excellent time to be in real estate, buying or selling, because if you're a buyer, the interest rates are so low, and you don't want to buy at the peak of the market if you can avoid it. But when you go to sell, there's low inventory, and so you're going to get a better price for your house. I mean, we're seeing multiple offers on across different price points, but especially in those entry-level homes, multiple offers if you do everything right. So it's going very well for certain homeowners right now. We only have 2.5 months inventory in the city of Lethbridge for residential property. I've been doing this about 9 years. I've never seen that low of inventory. So the market is hot, no two ways about it. We're generally in a seller's market, but as I always make the disclaimer, it depends what price point you're at, how you're positioning your home for your location, the type of home, the way it shows. Staging the home is still 1,000% recommended and important, critical, so you don't leave money on the table. But just everybody calm down. There will always be more houses coming on the market. If you need to buy a house this year, if you want to buy a house this year, if you got a great rate on your pre-approval for a mortgage, let's go find you a house. We have never had anyone go homeless. Never. We always can find you a house. There's always more houses coming on the market. So it's an amazing market. It's in a historic, exciting time in real estate. Don't let fear take hold. We can put together a plan to get you to where you need to go, even if you have to sell a house and try and find a house at the same time. Again, we've never had anyone homeless. It's just a matter of being very strategic about each of those steps in the process. If you have any questions, 382-7335, or you can visit us at karriflatla.com. We'd love to hear from you and help you get on a plan to success with buying or selling a home. Have a terrific rest of your Friday, and we'll see you for next Friday Fire. Take care. Bye-bye.